If you're new to Mexico and hiring in Mexico, there's generally three major cities that people are interested in. And that's going to be Mexico City, that's going to be Guadalajara, and Monterrey. Now, there's others that exist, and there's a lot of business that goes on in a lot of the other cities like Querétaro, León, Tijuana. But I'm just going to focus on three cities today so that it gives companies a better idea of, where to set up shop, where's a great environment for them to hire great talent. And I'll start with Mexico City. Mexico City, as most people know, has a population of about 25 million people. There's a large pool of English-speaking talent there. It's traditionally been known as kind of a financial hub. They have their own stock market called the Bolsa, which is kind of like the New York Stock Exchange, but it exists in Mexico City. So there's a lot of financial positions, a lot of financial companies that have set up shop there. A lot of the banking industry is there. But then in recent years, you kind of have a lot of tech companies moving there. You have companies like Amazon and Uber, companies like this, Apollo.io. I know there's a lot of companies setting up shops here because it's kind of a gateway to Latin America. And because of its central location, Mexico City, you can basically get to anywhere in the world. And it really has that proximity to the United States, but it also has proximity to Latin America. So it's a very central location. A lot of people use, or a lot of companies use that as kind of a central hub for the Americas, or like a Latin American headquarters. Then you have like Guadalajara. Guadalajara has traditionally been known as kind of like a tech hub. 50, 60 years ago, it was more of a manufacturing city. However, 20 years ago, companies like Hewlett Packard, IBM, Oracle started moving in. And so what Guadalajara's has actually become kind of a tech hub. It's also known as the Silicon Valley of Latin America. So these companies have kind of reached out to these universities. They've hired a lot of the tech talent that exists in Guadalajara. You have a lot of universities there with a lot of English-speaking talent. And so a lot of these Silicon Valley companies have reached out and have set up shop and have hired a lot of this talent. Now, there's a lot of other industries that exist there. Obviously, manufacturing, they have their own set of finance as well. But generally speaking, especially for companies that are hiring abroad, that are hiring in Mexico, they really look for the tech talent in Guadalajara. And then finally, you have Monterrey, which is one of the three big ones that I was talking about. Monterrey has traditionally been known as kind of a manufacturing hub, very industrial city. It's also a very clean city. But because of its proximity to the United States, you have, it's a 2-hour drive to Texas. You have a lot of commerce, you have a lot of logistics companies that are set up there. And there's a lot of manufacturing plants, and it's kind of the core business of that area. A lot of great talent there, a lot of great English-speaking talent. And, just because, you have companies like GE, you have Whirlpool, Grainger, even Callaway Golf. There's a lot of big companies that have set up shop there and have a manufacturing plant in Monterrey, which has led to a lot of the industry there. But then you also have, a presence with tech talent as well there. And you have companies like Accenture, you have Softtech. There's a lot of different industries in each one of these cities. But generally speaking, those are kind of the overall identities of them. If you were to ask anybody, where is this operation or where is this industry set up? Those are kind of the general rules or the general identities that each one of these cities have. Now, one thing that a lot of people don't talk about, but it's interesting to see what companies actually set up shop, is because there's a salary differential with a lot of these cities. If you've seen some of our other videos, we talk a lot about Mexico City and how people come to Mexico City, they don't really anticipate the salaries being what they are. But to be honest with you, the salaries have changed quite a bit in Mexico City. It's known as one of the most expensive cities in all of Latin America. And so people don't expect that when they come to Mexico. Even though salaries are less than the States, they are still higher than a lot of people expect.